Good morning. Welcome to your early morning intuitive guidance. I'm Dr. Bonnie Nussbaum, here with some words of wisdom to start your day off well on this fine Thursday. We had a little bit of rain overnight, so everything's a bit damp, but looks like today's going to be a beautiful day, so looking forward to that. Getting together for lunch with a couple of friends, always a good time. So, as we wait for people to pop in this morning, let's do a little bit of tapping. Pick your spot, but I tend to like here. If you're feeling kind of stuck, here's a good spot, right by your baby finger, the karate chop spot. Otherwise, just it could be the center of your chest. That tends to get some immune system stuff going. Or it can be off to the sides, whatever feels good to you. I call these the Tarzan points. So, nice deep breath, in through the nose, out through the mouth, in through the nose, out through the mouth. There's Ruth Ann. Good morning, Ruth Ann. Glad you're here. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Just breathing deeply and easily. Thank you for the sunshine. I appreciate it. Good morning, Nancy. Welcome. We're just doing some breath in through the nose, out through the mouth. A little deeper this time. In through the nose, out through the mouth. The more deeply we can take in the breath, the more deeply we're taking in life. And the more deeply we exhale, the more room we're making for freshness in our life. So you can just keep that breath going if you like. Some of you might feel a little bit dizzy. Good morning, Carolyn. Welcome. Glad you're here. And what that tells you is if you take several deep breaths and you get lightheaded, means that typically you're not breathing deeply enough. Good morning, Gwen. Welcome. Glad you're here. So we have an interesting card today, and I think there's a reason it's showing up at this juncture in our evolution, our human evolution, because we need some balance here. Good morning, Abigail. Glad to have you here. Everybody's starting to roll in. This is good. So, before I forget, I also want to plug Unity Cafe. So this Sunday at 7 a.m. Central Time, we meet on Zoom for an hour to talk about anything and everything, whatever comes up. We've got a couple of things picked out, one being communication, the other one being death and dying, and making that a normal thing instead of this medical procedure. So if you'd like to join us for that and you're not already on the list that gets the Zoom link, either drop me a private message here or you can send it to my email, which is bonnie@empowermentandpurpose.com, and I'll get you added to the list and get the link sent out to you. Good morning, Barb. Welcome. Glad you're here. So the Practical Rebels all rolling in. This is good. And I also wanted to mention that we now have up our next edition of Common Ground Conversations. So Jo Neal Conley, who's often on here, and I get together a couple times a month to have a Zoom conversation with each other about whatever's ripe at the moment. So this particular one is on grief. And it's not just on the grief that we experience when someone dies, but also the grief that we experience when things happen that are unexpected. Good morning, Mel. Glad you're here. Including things like losing a job, losing a relationship, a dream that we had that didn't manifest or got waylaid. There's all different kinds of grief that humans experience in a lifetime. And many of us have been taught to shove that grief aside. And what happens then is we get what's called complicated bereavement. We don't process through the grief to a place where we're at peace with whatever happened and can move forward with our life. We can get stuck. So that is now posted, Common Ground Conversations, myself and Jo Neal Conley. Check it out. See what you think. For today, we have a card from Denise Linn's Native Spirit deck. And Carolyn, your name rolled twice. There's Joniel. Good morning, good morning. I was just telling them we have a Common Ground Conversations up on grief. So, yes, derailed myself. I'm good at that. So, Denise Linn, Native Spirit. And the card for today, I love these cards. They're so pretty. Medicine bag. Medicine bag. My medicine bag looks like this, but it doesn't have the beading on it. It's just the plain bag. So, let us read. Nice deep breath in. Let it go. Medicine bag. Card meaning, gather your resources. So I want to just take a pause there and let that one have its moment. Gather your resources. Gather your resources. Be discerning. Vast inner power is growing in your life. Step back and let it grow. We've talked about the stepping forward, the being on our path, being in flow, etc. Now the guidance is step back for a moment and let it grow. There are times to shine brightly for all to see, and there are also times to choose carefully who sees your real self. Choose wisely. Do not make hasty decisions. If it doesn't feel right, hold back. So there can be things unfolding that seemingly on the surface look like the great thing. And there's that old saw, if it seems too good to be true, it probably is. This may be a point for some of that to come to mind. If it doesn't feel right, hold back. You are protected from any less than positive outside influences. And we can also choose to protect ourselves. Good morning, Beth. Glad you're here. From less than positive outside influences. There have been several times recently where I thought, well, that's enough of that for me. I'm not going to expose myself to stuff that isn't about my highest and best good, or the highest and best good of others. Your capacity and potential are growing in leaps and bounds. Again, the way that the book about the Palladians would talk about it is we're being called to up-level. We're being called to leave behind limited ways of being, believing, doing, etc., and step into much more expansive ways. And as they said, if all of this came online at once, kind of like when Jesus is talking about God, if we were exposed to God all at once, it would short our circuits. We don't have the capacity to even entertain that kind of energy. So this is, though, a call for us to up-level the amount of energy we can entertain and the skills and abilities that we bring online. We've relied heavily on our five senses for quite some time now, and we've sort of eschewed intuition and a sense of knowing and clairaudience, clairvoyance, clairsentience, all the clairs, intuition, all that stuff coming online much more heavily. And there are going to be those people who are like, that's all garbage, blah, blah, blah. You get to choose. You get to choose what you believe. I wholeheartedly believe, and you hear it every day at the end of this YEMIG, we're capable of far more than we think we are. We are. You're not going to disabuse me of that idea. I believe it wholeheartedly. So, let's see. Your native spirit wants you to know. It's traditional in indigenous cultures to carry a medicine bag or medicine bundle as a form of protection, and also as a way to access your personal power through the sacred objects that are held there. I always loved going to spring ceremony or things where people would lay out their bundles around the fire. That was just so cool to see what had picked each person or what each person had picked to carry in their bundle. And some people had more things and some people had less things. It's what's right for you. It's not about quantity. It's about quality. So for me, what I have is my rocks and crystals laid out on my desk. And, oh, I'm getting a little hit that I'm supposed to pick one to show you. Ooh, I'm going to show you this little bitty one. It's a little bitty, little bitty crystal of amethyst. Teeny tiny. And I keep moving it around. There's actually a little, I call this, it's like it's hard to see, but there's a little ledge on it. So I can sit the crystal on the little ledge. And that just feels like really good energy when those two are married. And again, things come to people in unusual ways. Where did I get those two particular crystals? In a little sandwich bag for $5 at a rummage sale. Oh, let's see. Could we please ask for energy to be sent to my daughter having health issues? Yep. So we interrupt this public service announcement. Hands together, rub them good, and we're sending energy. And again, she'll take in on a subconscious level whatever energy she needs for her healing. I'm sending it with the intention that she figures out what these health issues are trying to tell her, that she goes beyond the medical level. She can certainly do the medical level as well, but dive deeper than that. Go beyond the medical level to look at, what is this wanting me to know? What is this dis-ease within me? And how do I bring myself back into alignment, into ease? Because again, we are all capable of far more than we think we are, including healing ourselves. If you need more information about that, check out Louise Hay. That woman was amazing. She was so far ahead of her time. Amazing. So, sending good energy to your daughter. Absolutely. All right, let's see where we were. The items in the medicine bag each contain potent qualities that allow one's abilities to magnify and also help one commune with the Creator. Something else you can do is, if you have a stash of stones or crystals or sacred objects, whatever it is for you. I have a lot of other natural kinds of things too. Feathers and moss and lichens and bark and all kinds of good stuff. So I've got one piece of bark. Let me see if I can get this one without tipping everything over. On which I wrote, breathe, believe. So it's just this beautiful piece of bark. Absolutely, Carolyn, absolutely. Good energy heading her way. And again, when we have dis-ease, it's an opportunity. It's an opportunity to heed the messages our body is sending us. What does it want us to know? Again, if you don't have, I think, an excellent addition to your library is Louise Hay's Heal Your Life, or Heal Your Body. The book is Heal Your Life. This is Heal Your Body. And what's in it is a plethora, I'll just show you a page, of various parts of your body and various kinds of dis-ease, and then her channeled analysis of what that's trying to tell you. Very helpful. Very helpful. All right, let's see here. As your power grows, take time to protect it. It's kind of like your creative ideas. When you first get a creative idea, you don't want to be telling everybody. You want to nurture it, let it grow, kind of like you're the greenhouse for your creative ideas. I like that idea. Thank you for that. You're the greenhouse for your sacred ideas. Anything creative that's coming to you needs to be nurtured. As your power grows, take time to protect it. Just as you protect a seedling in the early months, and then later, once it's an established tree, it can withstand the storms of time. So we protect it initially, just like we do a child, but they get stronger and stronger, and we give them more and more latitude as they get older. They know how to do stuff. They've learned things. They've had experiences. Protect your growing power, and it will become as mighty as an ancient oak. So here's the journey. So Denise says, consider obtaining or creating your own medicine bag or bundle. And then she says, see my book, Kindling the Native Spirit, for instructions. Put objects in it that are meaningful to you and make you feel strong and vital whenever you look at them or hold them. I like having objects around me that when I look at them, I smile. They make me feel happy. They're things that make my soul sing. Traditionally, one's medicine bag is not worn for display. Oftentimes, if people have a very small one, they just drop it down underneath their shirt. But often hidden from view or kept in a sacred place. So this isn't necessarily for all eyes to see. It may be something that you hold sacred and want to have in a place where it's just not obvious that it's there. So, what's the biggest thing you took out of this one today? What stood out for you? Carolyn, your name just rolled again. I think that's about 3 or 4 times. So there's something here for you. I'm looking, let's see what grabs me the most. That there are times to choose who gets to see the real me. And there's a small, I'm going to call it small, circumstance unfolding in my life where I feel like they haven't earned the right to see who I really am. And I'm going to step back a little bit and see how some things unfold first, and then decide whether or not I come forth to contribute. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And sometimes we need the practice of figuring out, that's not the right one for me. I'm here, I've paid attention, I've learned, but it isn't chiming. It's not the right one for me. That's perfectly reasonable. You can use that in all situations. A job. You can turn down a job offer if it's not chiming for you. Relationships, if something isn't, and again, it doesn't have to be viewed as rejection. Oh, he dumped me. No, it can be viewed as we weren't a good match. We weren't a good match. So I'm gonna release this with love. Yes, exactly. Absolutely. So for Abigail, there are times we get to choose who gets to see the real me. Yes. What about for the others? Those of you, there's 7 of you on here. What stood out for you from this medicine bag card? This card about protection, this card about discernment, this card about being more powerful than you give yourself credit for. I like that part. So, put some things in the feed. I'll catch up with them as I go about posting this on my various platforms. And I think it's working out well, actually, now that because Facebook changed their guidelines. And if I only post here, 30 days later, this video disappears, and all the other platforms lose the video. So yes, getting to know the real you. Yes, and loving her. Amen. Amen, amen. And what a beautiful rainbow of hearts. I love it. Oh, for those of you who follow Randy Rainbow, he has a new video up. It's from The Lion King. So there you are. If you want to check that one out. Again, I want to remind, now that more of you are on here, I want to remind you that we have Unity Cafe on Sunday morning, 7 a.m. Central Time. If you get the emails I send out as reminders, you'll be getting it. It did go out right after the last one, but I will send it out again before we meet on Sunday morning. But if you're new to Unity Cafe and haven't joined us before, we just get together for an hour on Zoom and chat. Send me a message, and I need your email address, and I'll get you added to the list to get the link. So, on that note, have a fabulous Thursday, y'all. We'll see you again tomorrow. Remember, you're capable of far more than you think you are. Bye-bye.